Finally, a full version of Burning Abyss has made its way into Duel Links. Are they top tier or do they kind of flop? With the newest main box Fantastic Arc, we finally round out this archetype, Burning Abyss, with some much needed cards. The only problem is, Burning Abyss requires a lot of work just to make them good, and at its base form, it's not the best deck, but you can still hit King of Games with it. It just is not competitive enough for tournaments. So here's how the deck works. It's a little complicated, but at the same time, it's also fairly simple. In terms of boss cards, you only really have Dante and Virgil. Both of them are not really great boss cards, but how you use them is how you're going to win duels. If anything, the real boss card of this deck would be the trap card Hate Buster, which is a rare trap card. It's very easy to get, and it's surprisingly versatile in this deck type. If anything, I would say this is the all-star of this deck. But here is how the combos work. Each Burning Abyss card has a special ability when it's sent to the graveyard, either in your end phase or the moment it's sent. Your main cards you're looking forward to sending are going to be Farfa, which when sent to the graveyard gets to banish one monster on your opponent's side of the field. However, it does need to target. And Sir, which will allow you to special summon a Burning Abyss monster from your graveyard. Scram is great because it'll help you search a card at the end phase where you can pull a +1. And Rubik is used specifically just for synchro summoning. The one caveat to Rubik is you can only synchro summon a Burning Abyss monster, which is why we've got Virgil here. It's not that great of a card, but if you have a Burning Abyss monster in your hand, you can target one of your opponent's cards on their field and either send it to the graveyard or shuffle it back to their deck. If Virgil gets destroyed, you can also get a +1, which kind of can help with some of your engines. You're hoping that you probably pull a Sphere Karibo either in your starting hand or from one of the +1s. We've got MSTs to help destroy the back row as well because it's a clutch card. Burning Abyss does not do well against back row. And Hate Buster, which is kind of the all-star of this deck. If you control a fiend type monster and your opponent attacks in, it will destroy both your monster and your opponent's monster and deal half of that opponent's monster as attack damage to your opponent. The great thing about Hate Buster is since it's destroying one of your cards and sending it to the graveyard, you have the ability to then utilize one of the Burning Abyss's second effects. I like to use it with Sir because then Sir gets to search a Burning Abyss card from the graveyard and pop it right back onto the field. Now, based on your starting hand, it doesn't really matter which one of these monsters you start with. In all honesty, you normally want to start with a Dante unless you're going up against something like Galloping Gaia, which I put Wind Up Zen Manis in here on purpose to help pop those Gaia plays since Zen Manis has some protection. Of course, you're going to need to utilize MST to help Zen Mani stay on the field, but it is great against Gaia plays. You'll get to see one in the replay. Once you have Dante on the field, you want to activate its effect, send 3 cards to your graveyard from the top of your deck by discarding one of your materials from Dante, and then you can start fueling that engine. If you have your Dante in attack position, by discarding those 3 cards from the top of your deck, you get to boost up to 2500 attack. It may get over some good monsters. It won't get over the best boss monsters, but what you're hoping is that it discards a Farfa because then Farfa gets to banish one of your opponent's monsters on the field, and then you can attack it. The deck kind of fuels itself since a lot of the cards either search, summons, or banishes, so you can kind of play around with some of the combinations that you have here. Your best way of figuring this out is just kind of testing it out for yourself. I don't think Burning Abyss on its own is going to be that versatile when it comes to the meta, but it can help you rank up on the ladder. You can hit King of Games with this deck if you play smart and you play correctly and you put in some good protection. Trust me when I say this, Hate Buster is actually a very good card for this deck and most people don't even suspect that you're playing it. So try it out, test it out, watch how many people attack in, and watch how many times you win just because Hate Buster was there for you. That's all I got. Check out the replays, enjoy, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because we got more stuff coming.